Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2021 general reading. We are looking at the first half of February, so from the 1st to the 15th. This reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, continuing to move through the beginning of the year in a peaceful manner. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today and for all your support, feedback, comments, donations. If you feel like it and you want to, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And thanks for being here. So this reading is for Sagittarius for the first 2 weeks of February. That's Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, if your Venus is in Sagittarius, or if you're cross-watching for a Sagittarian, it's all relevant. But of course, being a general reading, it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. You all know what your individual stories are. Watch all of your signs if you know them for additional insight. If you find that any of the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, maybe take a deeper look at something, you can click on the description link below, click on that little arrow. You'll see my email address there, maggie1maguire@gmail.com. Feel free to email me directly. I can typically respond within the first 24 hours with more information. And scheduling personal readings is done in a fairly timely fashion. I do readings full-time. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules to get those set up as quickly as possible. I do offer a wide variety of readings of all different types and lengths and prices and in all the main areas of life. And the 6 and 12 month overviews are still quite popular right now. I mean, you can order them at any time of the year. They look at different areas of your life for the next 6 or 12 months from the time of the reading, but I always get a lot of orders for them at the end of one year and the beginning of the next, so something to think about. All right, let's move right into the Sagittarius. Let's see what the first 2 weeks of February have in store for you. Sagittarius. We begin with the Four of Wands. Lovely way to begin. With the Nine of Wands, not so lovely. The Nine of Swords. With Temperance. The Knight of Wands. With the Six of Wands. Now that is an absolutely awesome way to end the reading. And from the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the first half of February is the Six of Swords. So the overall energy, Sagittarius, is the Six of Swords for the first 2 weeks of February. So this is a card of transition, a card of healing, which means that it's a bit of a mixed bag, as healing usually is. Typically in the early stages of healing, you have maybe more bad days than good days. The water behind this boat, if you could see it, would be choppy and wavy and turbulent and full of, rocks and sticks and debris and all kinds of stuff. But you've left the worst of it behind you, and you're now moving into and through waters that are calm and peaceful and placid and serene. You're not quite to the other shore yet and on solid ground. You're in transition, but you're definitely moving towards that. So, you might have some good days, you might have some bad days. It's a card of healing, which implies that something happened that was challenging or painful or traumatic, but you're moving into a better place. And it looks like there's kind of a strong theme here that whatever it was that you've had to deal with, or the challenge is perhaps centered around a relationship or home and family, because that's what the Four of Wands is. Four of Wands is one of the happy home cards. Weddings, anniversaries. It's a card that strongly connects to celebrations around friends and family, meaning it could be something formal like a wedding celebration, family reunion, or it could be something informal like a barbecue, just getting together. It represents the simple joy and gratitude we feel when we're connected with the people that we love and care about, and makes us feel kind of stable in that area of our life. It's a very good, happy card, but it looks like there's some issues there, because accompanying it is the Nine of Wands, sometimes called the Dark Night of the Soul. It usually represents in different decks some version of a soldier or somebody who's been through a number of battles already, and they've run into yet something else, another obstacle, a hurdle, a challenge of some kind, and they've withdrawn, sunk to one knee, maybe feeling discouraged, depressed, wondering how to get through this. If you want to get through this, should I give up? It's usually a card that represents pushing through, and it also is a card that represents that no matter how difficult the place that you are in is, you're very close to the end of it, because the next card after this, of course, would be the Ten of Wands, which represents feeling really kind of overwhelmed and weary, but you're coming to the end of a cycle, because in the tarot, tens represent cycle completion and achievement, coming full circle again. So some stress and issues maybe around, I mean, it's a general reading. What the Four of Wands is specifically is going to vary for those of you watching it. It could be an actual relationship, the home, the family. Maybe you have a relationship and a family, and maybe you're going through some difficult times, or there's been a breakup of some kind, or a change, or an ending of some kind. It could be with extended family too. It might even be a family event, because sometimes the Four of Wands can represent, reunions, weddings, families getting together, and, during COVID times, travel and getting together is kind of restricted or just non-existent in some places. So it might be related to an actual event around friends and family. There's a lot of stress about this, though, because next we have the Nine of Swords. I hate this card. Well, I hate what it implies. I mean, this is a card that implies a lot of stress, anxiety, fear, insomnia, obsessive negative thinking, kind of not, your worst fears and stuff kind of hijacking your rational mind, and in an obsessive negative way. What am I? It's usually a card that shows up when someone's in fear of an unknown future. What am I going to do if this happens? And what am I going to do if this doesn't happen? And trying to, stressing about a future which hasn't played itself out yet, and envisioning kind of the worst possible outcomes, right? So, I mean, this is an unnecessary energy. And it's not to say that whatever these swords represent, because swords is governed by the energy, by the element of air, which is mental energy. So, whatever is the source of all of this stress and concern may be completely and totally valid. But the Nine of Swords represents, thinking about it too much, and typically in a negative, obsessive way, and typically, with the worst possible outcome. Now, with the Nine of Swords is Temperance, which is a card about balance, trying to keep your balance in this, emotional balance, staying grounded in who you are and what you're about and what you know to be true in this situation, and not allowing yourself to be kind of carried away by, obsessively thinking about an unknown future, which you attach a lot of negativity to. It's a card about retaining balance in that, because we end quite beautifully here, meaning around the mid-February or so, because this is, we're only looking at a 2-week period of time. We have the Knight of Wands, which is the fastest of all of the knights, because he's governed by the element of fire, which governs wands. Action-oriented, assertive, impulsive, spontaneous. This knights represent offers and opportunities for change coming in, and this is coming in very quickly and very powerfully. And with it is the Six of Wands, which is victory, triumph, success, and even some public recognition in that. Triumph and success after a pretty significant challenge. So let's clarify some of this. Let's clarify the Six of Swords, this card of healing and moving away from a difficult place. Not quite to the other shore yet, but you're moving towards it. Six of Swords. I mean, it looks like there was all this stress and anxiety and wondering what to do about something that had to do with, friends, family, home and family. Clarify the Six of Swords. The Ten of Pentacles, long-term stability and security. Again, a strong theme of home and family here. Family money, family business, family property, family estate, inheritance. Maybe it has something to do with inheritance. Maybe there's like conflict. If it has to do with an inheritance issue, especially like a legal inheritance issue, it could represent that there might be some infighting in family about who gets what and all of that. The Ten of Cups, which is one of the happy home cards. Huge, strong elements of home and family in this, of going through difficult, challenging times. Again, for some of you, it might be, fighting within the family system, family dynamics because of property or money or inheritance issues. It might be related to a single relationship, like a long-term committed relationship or marriage. Um, and it could be just the family in general having gone through some major upset recently. That's what it's about. Let's clarify this Nine of Wands. I mean, it might be about the family home itself, the property, if anybody's been going through legal issues or financial issues and wondering how you can hold on to, the actual property or pay the mortgage or something of that sort. Again, it's a general reading, so the actual specifics are going to vary depending on what your personal story is, but strong connection to home, family, whether in an emotional way, well, it's all kind of emotional, or, it has something to do with the concrete aspects of home and family, like property and money or job, you know. For some of you, it might be just the relationship itself. Clarify the Nine of Wands. The Ace of Cups and the Lovers. Interesting. Well, the Lovers can sometimes represent a third-party situation, with relationships. In the early tarot decks, it was called The Choice, showed a man standing in front of two women. And the Ace of Cups, which is new beginnings, new love and romance. I mean, it might be that somebody in a relationship met somebody new and they're not really sure what they're going to do yet. Maybe there's a choice. There's a choice that needs to be made. It can represent that the choice that needs to be made, it could be about the relationship itself, or it could be in another area of life that's going to affect or impact the relationship itself, like if it's finances or money or something of that sort. A choice for a new beginning. Clarify the Nine of Swords. The Two of Wands, yeah, being at a crossroads. Somebody's at a crossroads, needs to make a decision. The Seven of Cups, multiple options, not knowing which one to take. Or if you're waiting on somebody else to make a decision, not knowing what they're going to do. And we have the Two of Cups, the traditional soulmate, kindred spirit card. There's a King of Swords right behind that, if that means something to someone, especially if this is, new love and romance, or perhaps some of you may be in a long-term committed relationship or marriage, and one of you has met somebody new. And you're wondering if, or the other person, somebody's trying to make a decision whether to kind of break up their happy home for this new thing, this new person, or you're waiting on somebody to kind of make that decision. For others of you, there's something else going on with a strong connection and impact on home and family. It might be financial or material. It might be legal for some of you. And there's some decisions that need to be made, which is going to make the difference between whether or not you retain stability and security or you don't in terms of the home and family, or trying to make some decisions about being able to, ultimately what's at the bottom of this is making decisions that are going to impact the long-term stability and security of home and family, whatever the details are that plays out for those of you. But it looks like you finish. It looks like something comes in, someone comes in at the beginning, or you do, and it kind of feels like saves the day. Something comes in that like saves the day. A positive decision is made, whether it's on your part or another person's part, or you're waiting for a decision, in a legal matter or a financial matter, or job or property, and it actually comes in because you win at the end of this. You win, Sagittarius. That's quite clear. Anything else for Sagittarius? Yeah, here's that Ten of Wands. So the Nine of Wands being almost at the end, the Ten of Wands being at the end here. It's all gotten very overwhelming, but you're at the end where you can lay that burden down. The Empress, pregnant with possibility. It might be actual pregnancy for some of you. That might be, the stressing issue here, especially if you're trying to get pregnant or have had some fertility issues. And then the Fool is right after that. A brand new journey begins, starting off on a brand new journey again, because the Fool is the first major arcana card in the tarot. That's why he has the 0 at the top of his card. So Sagittarius, whatever the specifics are in this situation, something comes in very quickly towards the end, meaning the end of this time period, so like mid-February, and you're successful. You're the victor. You come out ahead, whether it's a competitive sort of energy where it's you sort of against something else or someone else, or whether you're waiting for news of something with home and family or pregnancy and fertility. I mean, it's quite clear, whatever the case is, that you come out pretty triumphant by mid-February, and it happens quite quickly, is what I'm getting. Lovely, positive, kind of charged up sort of reading. So just remember, Sagittarius, to knock down some of this energy. You don't need to stress about an unknown future, the unknown options. Everything's going to work out quite well for you in the end, or at the end of this time period. So Sagittarius, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. It's quite a bright reading. Again, other than that, 9 of Wands and 9 of Swords. But you're very close to being at the end of a very challenging situation. And by the end, meaning that you're going to come out, wreathed in roses. I mean, it's really, really quite lovely. So thank you for watching this. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the February mid-month readings. Again, if any of these readings resonated with you or you're interested in a personal reading, click on the description link below. Email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe and well. Bye-bye.